Hello there. My name is Gavin, and I like Hazbin Hotel. No. Yes, I like it a lot. Actually, it's probably one of my favorite shows that's airing right now. But why? Why would someone like a show with such glaring problems and issues? Well, I'm here to defend this show a little and maybe change your opinion on this TV show. Whenever someone talks about Hazbin Hotel, there's always one singular thing. That's a plot line slash representation in the show that they always go to. And that is how rape is depicted. And Valentino, the porn demon, is depicted. Obviously, rape is a very touchy and sensitive topic, and I'll try to handle it with complete understanding for the victims of the heinous crime. Valentino is a rapist in the show. He treats a main character by the name of Angel Dust very poorly by abusing him and taking advantage of his body because Val is his boss, and this leaves Angel depressed and broken. But then he starts getting better by near the end of season 1, only to pull the rug out from under us. Not to reveal, not only is he being abused by Val, he's also being abused and hypnotized by Vox. This storyline is very controversial and brings up the question of, is the creator of Hazbin Hotel telling this in a civil and respectful manner? I would say in this instance, the answer would be yes. I believe that the abuse is portrayed in a very raw and real way that doesn't shy away from what is happening in the relationship. Here's where the stuff gets kind of iffy. Val is even portrayed as a victim to Vox and his antics, but not really. Not a victim. More like just like a toy. And, to Vox and his antics. So, is Hazbin Hotel doing rape apologia? In my opinion, the answer would be no. And there's a relationship between Valentino and Fox, known as Static Moth among fans, is a toxic relationship between two villains that exploit each other for sex. Not only for not just like Valentino does not like Vox for anything but the sex. He's not in a relationship with Vox because he loves his personality and loves how he is. He just loves to fuck, and that's it. Because that's what he is. And when he gets his interlude, and when I think about the future, it's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to be like, hey, this is actually funny because this guy is being sad about something that he does to other people, Yeah. There are two jokes about rape in the show, but they're not really about rape. Like, I also think, by the way, that the creator of this show would not put rape apologia in her show. Just on a hunch of she's not crazy, she would never put that in the show. Crazy shit that people say, and we'll get to why they say it later. There are two examples of rape as a joke, but not really. When Serpentius gets dragged off after saying, "I'm having sex with everyone here," it's like supposed to be funny because he got what he said he wanted to do. It's like the literal thing happened. I like seeing him get dragged off like SpongeBob, like, I want to live. The compilation, and the other one is the compilation of abuse that was made by Vox to show Valentino that he abuses Angel a lot. I don't really find it funny, and I understand if people kind of were thrown off by this, But also understand it was made by Vox to maybe even try and make it seem less harmful what he was doing. It was more of like, this is bad. The villains are doing something bad, and let's show you what they did in the way that they see it as. They see it as something funny, but they say it's bad for the company. Even Vox says it's bad for the company. I do see where you're coming from if you don't like this part. This is a completely objective or subjective, not objective, subjective part of the show that you can look at and be like, Lee, no thank you, and then turn it off. Part 2, Vivzy Pop, the adjective collector, as I like to call her. So I've seen almost every single one of these words, actually every single one of these words, used to describe Hazbin Hotel series creator Vivian Mandrano. She is allegedly a racist, a rapist, a narcissist, a pedophile, a Nazi, a xenophobe, a homophobe, a transphobe, and a sexist as well. And that's all I can think of right now, but there are more. Like a zoophile. I've heard that before. So there must have been a lot of things that Vivzy Pop must have done. And I'm not going to sit here in this chair and say she did nothing wrong, because there are a couple things that could be done better. But calling her a rapist is not true. Calling her a pedophile is not true. She drew NSFW art of a 17-year-old when she was 17. She was kind of, everybody is doing sexual stuff with themselves or drawing it when they're 17. Like, it's like a thing. She isn't preying on children or getting off to children or teens. And then there's Nazi stuff. She isn't a Nazi. And I don't think there's any proof to this. I don't think there's any proof to Vivzy Pop being a Nazi. The only reason they say this is because, I hate to go on a tangent, but I feel like some people on both sides of the political spectrum, their first reaction when they don't like something is to call somebody a Nazi or a communist. And Vivzy Pop, I think, has been called both by either side of the political spectrum. It's crazy. They call everyone a Nazi, whether they're right like DT or wrong like Vivian Mandrano. She isn't homophobic or transphobic because she doesn't have internalized hate for those groups, because she is part of those groups. She is bisexual and asexual, and she is also has a trans character in Hell of a Boss, and maybe a trans character in Hazbin Hotel and Baxter, maybe. And her transcoded lines of story are pretty good too. So no, but there are two ones that I will go over in more detail: the racism and sexism allegations, the misogyny allegations. So, is Vivzy Pop racist? Well, it's a better question to ask is does Vivzy Pop use racist stereotypes to insult certain cultures and ways of life? Well, have you ever played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? Because that's where we're going next. Released in 1987, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is an 8-bit boxing game made by Nintendo with special guest, real-life boxer Mike Tyson. It contains such boxers as Mr. Sandman, King Hippo, and Glass Joe. And it also includes a notoriously difficult final boss fight against the aforementioned Mike Tyson. So I'm going to go over the characters in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and show you how they are racist, but Vivzy Pop and Hazbin Hotel are not even close to each other. Punch Out has Glass Joe, a cowardly Frenchman, which French people are usually seen as cowardly because of World War II. An angry German who folds under the pressure of real battle and also has a mustache, also a reference to World War II. A Japanese man named Piston Honda, by the way, Japanese people made this game, so they were kind of picking on themselves. And then you got this flamboyant Spanish guy named Don Flamenco, named after the flamenco dance. And his like animations and stuff in Punch Out Wii are all based on Spanish dances, and people usually portray Spanish people as over flamboyant. Then you got King Hippo. He's a racist stereotype of Pacific Islanders because he's super fat, and I feel like people say Pacific Islanders are super fat a lot. Great Tiger is from India, and he does magic, and he wears a turban. He's a stereotype, and very bad one at that, of Hindu and Muslim beliefs. And he does magic. Yeah, it's totally not cool. Bald Bull is an angry bald man from Istanbul, Turkey. His name is a joke about the city of Istanbul. He's Bald Bull. And then there's the one that's kind of like the most in your face of all time. Vodka Drunkenski. Oh, excuse me. Soda Popinski is his name. Take a wild guess where he's from. If you guess the USSR, specifically the Russian part, you would be correct. It's not very subtle. Mr. Sandman is like the only one that's not a stereotype in this game. He's just a boxer. Super Macho Man is a walking one-dimensional beach blonde valley boy stereotype, which, for sure, just a Hollywood movie star full of himself. And the last one is Mike Tyson. He has a whole laundry list of issues, but this game came out 3 to 4-ish years before all that stuff came up, and nobody had any idea about it because he didn't do it yet. But they re-released this game after his contract was up and right before he became problematic, and renamed it to just Punch Out with special guest Mr. Dream instead of Mike Tyson. And then a couple years later, a game by the name of Super Punch Out came out, featuring another cowardly French person, a big burly Canadian man who loves to give hugs, which, okay, like fat and polite Canadians. Piston Hurricane from Cuba, because they have hurricanes there. Crazy. Bob Charlie, based off Bob Marley, and is basically just like a stereotype of Jamaicans. And the word jive is used, by the way. Dragon Chan is from China, and his name is Dragon Chan. Like, no. And then Masked Muscle is a Mexican luchador who likes to play dirty. Aaron Ryan is this character who likes to play recklessly and cheat, and they're an Irishman, like a bar fight almost. And then Hiki Higuero might be mocking trans people, but is also Japanese and might be just some kind of model or something. Mad Clown is from Italy, but there's nothing there to connect him back to Italy. It's just a clown from Italy. Maybe they're just saying everybody from Italy are clowns. And then Narcissus Prince is from Great Britain, and he's a narcissist. And British people, are sometimes used as a stereotype as holier than thou. And yeah, that's kind of, yeah, that's another stereotype. Hoi Kuorlo is an old Chinese man who beats you with a stick, mocking how Chinese people fight sometimes. And don't forget, Pizza Pasta is his name, and he's from Italy. Duh. So Punch Out is racist in a lot of ways, but why did I bring up Punch Out and its sequel, Super Punch Out, and its racist stereotypical caricatures of everyone from Tokyo all the way to Hollywood? Well, it's to prove a point. The point is that in Punch Out, there are a lot of racist stereotypes, but the people in Hazbin Hotel are categorically not like that. In Punch Out, the entire character of each boxer is their nationality. Even in the Wii remake that came out in like 2010 or something like that, they aren't changed to possess more character. They are the same, even with semi-modern technology. Hazbin Hotel has Hispanic characters where their entire personality is not being Hispanic. Vaggie is this badass warrior lesbian who loves her girlfriend and can be angry at sometimes, but that's because she's a hardened exorcist who still needs to work out her issues. Carmilla Carmine is a family-driven weapons maker who has traditional Spanish instruments tied to her motifs to celebrate her culture. Valentino, though, is a little bit harder to defend. I don't believe Vipsy Pop is saying all Hispanics are like him. Him being Hispanic doesn't really matter. He's attacked racially by Vox, saying basically a bad guy did a bad thing to another bad guy. Japanese is like, okay. Nifty is more of a victim of her history and how Japanese people were treated during and after World War II. It's more of a historic story than a racist stereotype. It's more of a real thing that really happened. British people, like Serpentius and Velvet. Velvet is not a stereotype of British people. She just has a British accent. That's kind of it. And Serpentius barely even has a British accent. And they're the opposite of, and Serpentius is like the opposite of Narcissus Prince, sacrificing himself for the greater good to be forgiven for a past sin. Cherry Bomb is an Australian, and the only thing that has to do with her is her Aussie words and accent and potty mouth. But scrap that last one because everyone in this show has a potty mouth, and she's so cool. I don't think many people even have problems with her being Australian. And then finally, Husk is kind of a tough one, but his race is not confirmed in life. He's just a cat. But he does have a black voice actor. His soul is under contract, but soul contracts are not like slavery in the slightest. You make a deal, and it's your choice to sell your soul if you lose. So it was like a double thing. Usually you just sell your soul, but for Husk, he decided to put his soul on the line against Alistair, and he lost. So now he's his minion, kind of. Not his slave, because he chose this. I think I did pretty well, but I hear people yelling at me. Alistair! Okay, Alistair. He's mixed race Creole. His magic is attuned to his culture. Like, he does, I'm not sure what he does, and I don't want to say anything that might be considered as kind of racist or like against somebody's culture. So I'm just gonna say he does magic that is based off of different Native American and Louisianian ways of, religion and magic. Not like Great Tiger, where it's being mocking toward the fact that they can do magic. He can actually do magic. Actually, for real. And then the misogynist allegations. I feel like people don't know what they're talking about with this one. But there are a couple things in Hell of a Boss, Vizzy Pop's other show, that are maybe a little bit on the misogynistic side. But this video is not about Hell of a Boss. This video is about Hazbin Hotel, and that's the name of the video, guys. That's the name of the video. Look at the title. We're not talking about Hell of a Boss. We're talking about Hazbin Hotel and its creator. I think all of the women that are in power in this show, like, let me name some. There, you got Velvet, you got Carmilla Carmine, you got Charlie, you got Vaggie, you got Loot, kind of, maybe a little. You got Emily, you got Sarah, you got the Speaker of God. I mean, there's ZZ, she's a girl. I could keep going, I think. Let me think. Almost every woman in this show is in some kind of position of power. And the one that's kind of Loot is kind of not in a position of power, so maybe not Loot. So take it down to 8. Loot is more of a corrupt kind of sentry person for Adam. So yeah. And then you got, but to add back to the 9, you got Lilith. Lilith is a woman in power. And then you probably got the root of all evil as well, Eve. Also, that's like 10 in power. And Eve might be like evil. Oh, some of these might be evil, but they are in power. Oh, and Rosie, 11. You got Rosie too, 11. And Rosie is really good because, like, she is shown to have autonomy over a man. Like Alistair, she's shown to have autonomy over a man. Calls him his pet and everything. It's not like that. It's like a woman has power over a man this time instead of a man having power over a woman. So I think I did a pretty good job doing both of these justice. If you still feel that Hazbin and Helva are misogynistic or racist toward your culture, that's your way to feel, and I'm not going to take that away from you, okay? All right, let's go into part 3 of this video. Hazbin swears a lot for comedic effect. People say it swears too much, and I hate to say this, but it kind of does. Now, I find it funny, but if some people don't find excessive swearing funny. But then again, this show is based off of South Park and Family Guy and The Simpsons and et cetera, et cetera. Like, name Rick and Morty, probably. A lot of stuff this show is based off of. Or not based off of, but inspired by. So, having swearing be in the show is supposed to be there. It's supposed to be like, because Vivzy Pop finds it funny, and I find it funny as well. If you don't find it funny, 100% okay, I get it. But I also want to talk about the way the show is written. And, well, there are a couple things that are written in this show that I even have problems with. Like Gravity. It goes nowhere in season 2. But I've heard people say that we can't just be like, the show isn't finished yet. We haven't seen it all. No, we have to be like that because we haven't seen it all, and we don't know the ending, and we don't know how Loot actually does make a hard rain fall down like Gravity. We don't know any of these things. We don't know how it happens. We don't know. So, people saying that the Loot storyline goes nowhere in season 2 are just like, I don't find it entertaining, for sure. I find it very irritating that people are just like, this didn't get finished in this season, guys. Wag finger wag. So let me bring up Gravity Falls for a second. Imagine if we judged Alex Hirsch in Gravity Falls for not following through on Stan Pines' mystery in 16 episodes in the season 1. We forget Stan Pines is shown to be super mysterious, and that is not picked up on at all through the first 20 episodes of the first for the first 20 episodes of the series. Not until the last couple seconds of the last episode of the first season is it shown that, oh, holy shit, he's up to something down here. He's trying to undo the world or whatever we thought it was gonna be. Imagine if we were like Alex Hirsch and Donna Terrace and everybody over are terrible writers because they haven't done what Stan does yet. We don't know what Stan does yet. I hate how impatient we are. I feel like we need to not be so impatient. And now I'm going to talk about the songs. Hazbin Hotel is a musical. If you don't like musicals, just don't watch this show. It's literally a musical. And people complaining about the music in this show it's just like, it's a musical, dude. I mean, there's gonna be music in a musical. No, I don't like musicals, somebody says. Well, it's not a show for you. Yeah. That's me talking about the musical segments. I'll stop talking. I'll stop asking me about the musical segments. I covered them. They're cool. They have good songs, really good songs, and even haters agree that some of the songs are good. And this is the finale. This is part 4. At the end of the day, why do people hate Hazbin Hotel? Well, it's because it's an easy target for rage bait. These people have no idea what they're talking about. They just want to make a flashy thumbnail or a flashy post and do the Vivsy adjectives and call it a day. While some criticism of this show is valid and understandable, some people are valid in their criticism. I'm not saying every single person that criticizes this TV show are invalid. You can feel however you want to feel about this show. I'm talking to a very specific subset of people out there that hate on this show in a certain way that we're going to get to. Why do these people do it? Because it's easy rage bait. But why is it such easy rage bait? Why? Why do they get the amount of posts and reposts and stuff? Well, it's because we're autistic. This could be another video about this, but I'm going to try and go into as much depth as you can. This rage baiting autistic people will get you famous. But here's the message I want to end this video with. You know what? I'm going to talk about this more. Name your fandom. Go on, name one. Name one fan base online. If you said, I don't know, let me name a random one off the top of my head. Poppy Playtime. People, especially in my corner of the woods, hate on Poppy Playtime because it's just like FNAF. And it's basically one autistic person arguing with another autistic person. But other people also hate Poppy Playtime and what it stands for. And they only don't like it because we're autistic. The people there are autistic, and they're like, ooh, I can say whatever I want and get super massive likes and reposts on everything I ever say about this thing because I can pretend to not like it because there are autistic people out there that will push up my views and make me a millionaire. It is so infuriating. It makes me so angry every time seeing somebody respond to it. They're so smart. They're so smart. They know exactly what grinds our gears. They know exactly what pushes our buttons. And we just fall for it every single time. it makes me really mad, guys, that we autistic people just go with it. Just accept the rage bait and just go with it, you know? But here's the message I want to end this video with. I understand if you don't like the show. I get it. There's a lot of problems with it. But if you don't like how it portrays things. But I'm sure people that actually are triggered by these things just turn off the show, maybe make a post about it and say, hey, I don't like this, and that's it. Those are the people that I'm not talking to. Those people can do whatever they want because they are actual victims of actual crimes, and this is just a dumb TV show. No. The people that I'm actually looking at here is the people that have all the vitriol and hatred for Hazbin Hotel. This show is a safe space for autistic people that have nowhere else to turn. Do you know how hard it is to be an autistic person? I hate to be like this. I hate to be like wag finger fag rag wag finger fag. I mean, like, I hate to be this way, but do you know how hard it is to live every single day as somebody who's not normal? It is torture. It is torture. It is a torturous existence. Going to school every day and being picked on and laughed at because you're different and you like other things that they don't like. This is people's escape. This is how people live with that. All of the bullying, all of the harassment, and you people are just trying to take it away from them because you want to be famous. You are selfish if you're like this. If you feel like, hey, I should rage bait people online because I know they'll respond to me, you are a selfish incel that only cares about themselves. You are a detriment to society. And I know, Gavin, this is big talk. You know, this is kind of hypocritical because you're falling for the rage bait now. This is it. I'm done. I am no longer responding to any rage bait. Any rage bait. There's an entire subreddit on Hazbin Hotel rage bait and how there's an entire subreddit out there responding to rage bait of Hazbin Hotel. We fall for it so hard, guys. Look inside yourself and say, hey, this person clearly does not know what they're talking about. Let me not respond to their posts. Look inside yourself. Close your eyes and look inside yourself. And for the people that do these things, look up and look around you. They say all these things about Vivzy Pop because she said something 10 or 15 years ago. They are pretending to care about these problems. And they love to call these people all these words. They call Vivzy Pop all these words. It makes her or her autistic fans flip out. And here is the message I like to say. Like I said, look up. We are over here twiddling our thumbs, arguing about a stupid TV show that won't matter in the grand scheme of things. When humans die out and the aliens come and if they find Hazbin Hotel, it will be insignificant. It will be just a tiny little bit of the human experience that you can choose not to live in. You can choose not to respond to this TV show. You can choose all these things, but you don't. You don't choose to do it. You decide to just be a little bit of get your knickers in a twist and decide to go out there and hate on something because other people like something and you are pretending to care. Not talking to, like I said, I'm not talking to the people that actually do care or were part of these crimes. A lot of people pretend to care about these issues. So, what I want you to do, they're not looking out for the people that actually, they're not looking at the people that actually are the things that we accuse Viv of. If you look up and see the people that are in power, that are abusing the power given to them. And we should all do something as a people. We are the people that have a voice in this country. We can speak up to the tyranny. We can speak up to bad things going on in this country and not keep arguing about a stupid, silly TV show about demons. This government and this regime is making people suffer and die. And you want to argue about Hazbin Hotel. So go turn your internet off and go beat the fucking game.